Welcome to my channel. 2009 Taconic State Parkway crash. It was Sunday, July 26, 2009, at around 9:30 in the morning. Diane Schuller left the Hunter Lake campground in Parksville, New York in a red 2003 Ford Windstar. She had been enjoying a weekend of camping with her family and was now ready to set off back home. Diane and her husband Daniel were traveling back home in different vehicles. In Diane's vehicle she had her 5-year-old son, 2-year-old daughter, and her brother's 3 daughters, aged 8, 7 and 5. Both Diane and Daniel left the campground at the same time, in what was supposed to be a routine trip home. This was a journey Diane had done many other times before. On the journey home, Diane stopped off at a McDonald's restaurant to get food for the children. She also stopped at a gas station in Liberty, where she was seen on surveillance cameras attempting to buy over-the-counter pain relief medication, but unfortunately the gas station didn't have any and she left. It has been suggested that the pain medication could have been for a painful tooth. It is believed she traveled along Route 17/Interstate 86, and crossing the Tappan Zee Bridge heading east. Witnesses report seeing a red minivan driving very aggressively along Route 17, and some claim that the driver was tailgating other vehicles, flashing their headlights and honking the horn. They also report that the minivan was veering in and out of lanes and even straddling 2 lanes. It is reported that around 11:37 that morning, Diane made a call to her brother Warren Hance while traveling in the minivan to inform him that they had been delayed in traffic. It was then at around 11:45 that witnesses report seeing the minivan by the side of the road. Diane was out of the vehicle and appeared to be vomiting. Another call was made to Warren Hance at around 1 p.m., and it was during this call that one of his daughters informed her father that Diane was having trouble seeing and seemed disoriented. It was then that Diane's brother told Diane to stay where she was, and he would come and meet her. However, for some unknown reason, she didn't stay where she was and carried on with her journey. Why she did not stay until her brother arrived, will remain unanswered. Warren would later go on to phone Diane again, but this time he did not get any answer. It was found that Diane had left her cell phone on the highway, which would be later found by another motorist. It is unclear if this was an accident or done on deliberate. It is also unclear what route Diane took from the bridge to the Taconic State Parkway. It was now 1:33 p.m., when 2 drivers made 911 calls to inform them that a minivan was on the northbound exit ramp of the Taconic State Parkway. There is signs at the intersection with Pleasantville Road informing motorists not to enter. However, for unknown reasons, Diane entered the road. Other concerned motorists also called 911 to report the minivan traveling the wrong way down the parkway. It is believed that Diane's vehicle was going at speeds of around 85 miles per hour. It is believed that Diane's vehicle traveled for around 1.7 miles before colliding head-on with a 2004 Chevrolet Trailblazer, which then struck a 2002 Chevrolet Tracker. Witnesses ran over to the minivan after seeing smoke coming from the vehicle. Inside the vehicle they noticed a broken bottle of Absolut vodka near to the driver's seat. Sadly, Diane, her 2-year-old daughter and 2 of her nieces were confirmed dead. 3 men in the Trailblazer, which Diane had hit head-on, were also confirmed dead. They were 81-year-old Michael Bastardi, his 49-year-old son Guy, and their friend who was traveling with them, 74-year-old Dan Longo. The 2 people who had been in the tracker only sustained minor injuries. Diane's other niece who had been in the minivan and her 5-year-old son, Brian, were both rushed to hospital. Sadly, her niece would later die of her injuries. Brian was the only person in Diane's vehicle to survive. He suffered broken bones and a severe head trauma. An investigation into the accident began. It was found that Diane had been intoxicated at the time of the crash. Her blood alcohol content was 0.19, with the legal limit being 0.08. It was discovered that Diane had high levels of THC, which is the active ingredient in marijuana. However, these findings would be disputed by her husband Daniel. Daniel Schuller, along with his attorney, denied that Diane had been drunk at the time, or that Diane had done any drugs that weekend. Even the employee at the campsite said they had seen Diane that morning, and she appeared sober. The employee at the gas station also confirmed that when they had seen Diane, she did not appear drunk, and this was backed up by the employees at McDonald's who had also seen Diane that morning. What had happened between Diane leaving these places, to the time of the collision? Daniel strongly believed that there was some medical reason why Diane had drove so erratically that morning, or that she had suffered some kind of stroke. However, this would not explain the toxicology report after the accident. However, the results of the autopsy, which was performed one day after the crash, did not find that Diane had suffered from any type of stroke or heart attack. Even with these findings, Daniel still denied the results, still believing that something must have happened to Diane. It was in June 2010 that the New York State Police issued its final report into the crash. The report still upheld the previous toxicology report and the levels of THC in her system at the time she had crashed her vehicle. It was found that the crash had been homicide, as the victims had all been killed due to Diane's negligent driving. The Bastardi family filed a lawsuit against Diane Schuller and her brother Warren Hans for unspecified damages for wanton, willful, and reckless conduct. Warren Hans was included in the lawsuit as he was the owner of the minivan Diane was driving at the time. Various other lawsuits were also filed by Jackie Hans, who lost her 3 daughters in the crash, and by Daniel against the state. By 2014, all the lawsuits had either been settled or dropped. Jackie and Warren Hans formed the Hans Family Foundation to honor their 3 daughters. Even to this day, it is still unclear exactly what happened on that horrific day. Why had Diane been drinking that morning, will never be fully known, and the answers died with her. What is known, however, is that in this horrific crash, 8 people did not make it home that day. Our hearts go out to the families of these victims. May your loved ones never be forgotten. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel to view other content.